चलो अब हम काम के बारे में बात करते हैं। देखो, ये मेरा इकलौता बेटा है और हम थोड़ा एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं, थोड़ा
दहेज,
डाउरी।
इस जमाने में दहेज कौन पूछता है?
आपको मेरे बेटे का कीमत नहीं पता है? देखो, इसकी गाड़ी टाइटन की है, टाइटन गाड़ी। देखो,
आपको मेरी बेटे की कीमत पता है? आपको मेरी बेटी की कीमत पता है? आपको मेरी बेटी की कीमत पता है?
अप्पा, मैंने बोला था ना तनिष्क का गोल लो। ये तो इम्प्योर निकला। अब मुझसे कौन शादी करेगा अप्पा? Many people think Titan, a Tata group, makes money by selling watches. But in reality, more than 80% of its revenue is generated by its jewelry business, Tanishq. What's crazy is that Titan is way bigger than the 100-year-old Tata steel, which shows to say that in India, gold is much more valuable than the steel business. When Tanishq was first launched in 1996, things were far from perfect. Low sales and increasing losses led Titan to consider shutting down Tanishq once and for all. I'm Achira Maya, and in today's video, I'm going to tell you the story of Tanishq and how it went from almost being shut down to making $3 billion last year. Titan's story begins in 1984 when it launched its iconic watches, which you can find in almost every Indian household. They dominated the watch market and began exploring other relevant industries to expand to, gold being one of them. You see, Indian households have stocked up to 25,000 tons of gold. To put this in perspective, it's $1.1 trillion worth of gold and 11% of global deposits. The love affair between Indians and gold is the stuff of legends. It's a very eminent part of worship and cultures. We buy gold jewelry as an investment. It's a status symbol. Families store generations and generations of gold and pass it on to their daughters when they get married. For example, when I was getting married, right, I didn't really want to don too much jewelry because I was like, I want to keep it a little minimal. So I told my mom that, Mom, I don't really want or need this jewelry. And she was enraged. She was like, you have to wear this gold or I will not come on your mandap. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, okay, damn mom, don't stress. Anything to make you happy, I'll wear it. So just seeing this obsession and love that Indians have for gold, Titan made the decision to capitalize on this by establishing the brand Tanishq. Up until that point, the gold jewelry industry was very unorganized. There were a lot of small local jewelers which the customers trusted and they only went to them. But these jewelers, they never really put the emphasis on the designs of the ornaments. So what Tanishq did was, they were like, we're going to break away from the norm and we're going to create very pretty, beautiful, intricate gold jewelry. Now, gold alone is a rather soft element and it wears out very easily. So you always have to mix the gold with some other metals to make it more durable. You would have often seen people discussing purity of gold and say 22 karat, 18 karat gold. So what 22 karat essentially means is 22 parts of gold mixed with 2 parts of other metals such as copper, silver, etc. So the very first Tanishq store was opened in Chennai in 1996 and they launched the store with only 18 karat gold jewelry, which is basically 75% gold and 25 other metals, because this 18 karat would make the jewelry even more sturdy and prevent scratches. The store didn't make any sales, but Titan was like, okay, it takes time for businesses to grow, so they went on opening new stores. But none of those new stores were also making any revenue. They finally diagnosed the issue and realized that even though they are selling jewelry, but it's more than that for the buyer. It is an investment. So the buyer preferred buying 22 karat gold over this 18 karat beautiful gold jewelry. Despite this, Titan persisted by absorbing Tanishq losses, which by the way mounted to 150 crores from 1996 to 2001. And things only kept going downhill to the point where Titan's stock was severely devalued and reached to an all-time low of 2 rupees in 2001.
Welcome to Tanishq. This is our collection of gold. We have 18 karat as well as 22 karat gold. This particular piece was found in 1963 by the France Emperor. And the best part and this most exquisite part of this deal is that you're getting original gold. The intricacies that have been used in this gold is next level. You've got copper, you've got nickel, you've got various different metals which is mixed with this gold.
सर, मैं आपको सोच के कल बताता हूँ.
Of course, sir. No problem at all.
A few moments later.
ऐ बड़बक, वो तुमको उल्लू बना रहा है. 18 कैरेट गोल्ड चिपका रहा है. हमसे लो, हम तुमको 22 कैरेट गोल्ड देगा.
22 कैरेट?
हाँ, 25% एक्स्ट्रा, 25% ऑफ.
The Tatas had had enough watching the business continue to lose money, so they hired McKinsey to conduct a study on Tanishq in the year 2002, and Ratan Tata delegated the final decision to the late Xerxes Desai, CEO of Titan at that time. Xerxes made the decision to keep the jewelry company, but he made multiple rectifications. He opened all the stores with the 22 carat gold jewelry instead of 18 carat, which Indians had always preferred. This started giving Tanishq some traction, but it wasn't enough and they still had to get over a big obstacle. So a majority of Indians preferred to get their gold jewelry from their trustworthy local jewelers due to their concern over receiving impure gold. Like even my nani and dadi, right? I remember they always had this one guy who they always went to for all their gold purchases. And he also tried to form a relationship with these store owners if you're going to them again and again for a long period of time. So most of the customers had little to no faith in the big players. To combat this problem, Titan made a huge decision that completely changed not just Tanishq, but the Indian gold industry forever. All the Tanishq stores were going to get a gadget called a carat meter. It was a gold purity testing tool that was priced at 10 lakh rupees per piece and imported from Germany. Yes, it was extremely expensive, but Tanishq was hell-bent on winning the gold market. Tanishq, backed by its innovative carat meters, ran several advertising campaigns encouraging its customers to bring their used jewelry into their stores for a free purity test. Customers were also very enthusiastic. A lot of them went running to the stores to get their jewels checked, and the stores began to see an increase in footfalls. Now, the customers were able to try out Tanishq's amazing service and new product offerings, but they were still leaving the stores unhappy and disappointed. Now, you'll ask me why, right? The reason being, almost 60% of the jewelry tested with carat meters was less pure than what the local jewelers had promised the customers. Now, this not just harmed the trust that customers had in their local jewelers over all these years, but the customers also felt scammed. So they were leaving the Tanishq stores angry and betrayed whenever they found out this information.
आप जॉब के लिए क्या करते हो?
मैं लोगों को असली सोना बेचता हूँ.
आप जॉब के लिए क्या करते हो?
So even after flipping their business game with this innovative carat meter, Tanishq's sales were still stagnant. Jacob Kurian, the COO at that time, attempted to delve deeper into the problem. He himself started calling and speaking to customers one-on-one, and after having thousands of conversations with customers, he realized that Tanishq was making the customer aware of the problem but never solving it for them. Now listen to this carefully, okay? There's a very important lesson here. You see, if you're someone who's running a business or thinking of starting one, you need to realize the importance of talking to your customers. In today's era of tech startups, it's very tempting to sit behind and avoid this conversation, but true customer insight only comes from customers directly. For example, when I ran my startup and started speaking to my customers one-on-one, I realized I had a lot of assumptions and preconceived notions about my end consumer, which were all incorrect. But when you start listening to these consumers, A, you'll find patterns with problems that could be recurring with a lot of consumers, and B, a lot of solutions for these problems will also come from consumers themselves during these conversations. So a lot of Tanishq consumers were like, boss, you've told me my gold is impure, but what do I do with this impure gold now? You tell me. Now through this insight, Tanishq introduced the new impure to pure scheme. With this scheme, if a customer brought jewelry which was less than 22 carats pure but greater than 19 carats pure, he or she could exchange it for Tanishq 22 karat jewelry by simply paying the making charges. This was truly game changing and Tanishq benefited greatly from this scheme. I for a fact know that my mom went and exchanged some of her old jewelry for this. Many stores began to sell nearly 1 crore worth gold every day. Tanishq gained a large customer base along the way who now trust the brand, and Tanishq could not be stopped after that.
Wait, this video is sponsored by us. So 2 months ago, we launched a video editing cohort and we picked up a very small batch of students and we turned them into video editing ninjas. Now we are taking registrations for the second cohort. The best part about this cohort is going to be placement friendly. So we are conducting a free webinar for all of these students who want to join cohort 2. If you want to be a video editing ninja, click the link in the description and sign up for the webinar right now. We have limited slots available. And now, back to the video.
The company's sales continued to increase year over year and it soon eclipsed the watch division's earning. Tanishq also introduced several sub-brands like Mia for working women, Riva for wedding jewelry, and Raga, a watch made to seem like jewelry. They also purchased Carrot Lane, a jewelry e-commerce site, later in 2016. Tanishq, a loss-making company up until 2003, generated $3 billion in annual revenue last year. Even its stock has produced outstanding results, going from just 2 rupees in 2003 to 2,700 rupees at the moment. The story of Tanishq is truly amazing on how, despite all the odds, it rose from the ashes through customer insight and innovation.